is Adi Olainka. I'm part of Stamina for Soul, Lions in the Camp.
Lions! Lions!
Yeah, Lions in the Camp. I am Anthony, our second trainer, and I'm the head trainer of Bilal Ali, the chosen one up next. And we're here today doing an interview, talking about Lions in the Camp.
Lions! Lions!
Turn up, show up, blow up.
Okay, sounds great. Now, let me get your name again.
Adi Olainka.
Adi.
Yeah.
So Adi, how long have you been in boxing?
I've been in boxing, well, I've been interested in boxing all my life.
Okay.
I've actually been involved in boxing coming up to 4 years now.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, just coming up to 4 years now.
So how did you and Ade meet? Or you always good friends? Tunde?
Yeah, Tunde, that's a big story.
Yes.
Now you're getting
Tunde,
into it.
Tunde,
yeah. You're getting deep now. Tunde actually used to train me.
Ah,
yeah,
the connection.
This was about 10, this is over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to do a bit of boxing, you know, I was doing a bit of security, I was doing, working on the doors.
Right.
And I spoke to my brother, I goes, look, I'm thinking about doing a bit of boxing, maybe look for a club, just keeps on fitness, throw my hands a bit. And he goes, you know what, go and see a guy called Tunde down at the Peacock Gym. So I goes, alright. He goes, he normally trains in the red ring at the back, which is even an older ring than that one now.
Wow.
So I've gone, alright then, so I've come down there one day and I've gone, I'm looking for Tunde. And they've gone, oh yeah, are you training? I goes, yeah, I'm just going to go and speak to him about it now. So they go, just go down the back, see what he says. So I've gone down the back, looking for him, and I've seen him down the back. This guy, young, in the ring, doing all this flash pad work. And I said, well, what's going on here? Like that. I think he was working with a fighter called Cat at that time. And he was doing all this flash pad work. And I said, what's all this? This is nothing. I'll get this in a week. And so I've gone to him, he's come out and I said, yeah, Tunde, my name's Ade. I said, my brother Robert's told me to come down and just follow at you, see if we can do a bit of training. He said, yeah, well, when you're free, then we arranged the date. Came down on that day and he's gone there, so have you done a bit of boxing before or anything? I said, yeah, you know, I'm acting a bit flash, like I know what I'm doing. I ain't got a clue. He's gone, all right, well, yeah, so he's gone, all right, strap on the gloves and let's start. So we go in the ring and he's starting a little bit of a warm up and then he gets into the combination. And by the 6th or 7th punch, I didn't know where I was, and he was just looking at me. So I'm just like, I'm trying to front it, like I know what I'm doing.
Exposed.
And he's going roll, move, duck, jab, one right, left, right, double jab, right, and move, duck, jab. I was like, what is going on here? By that time, I was absolutely knackered. We'd hardly done 10 minutes, and I'm absolutely sweating. So, you know, it was a good introduction into how he thinks about boxing and his method and his strategy regarding in boxing, and because of that, you know, we sort of grew a connection, and I was just very interested in his framework, you know, how he thinks about boxing, extremely knowledgeable, and you know, Tunde looks young as well, so I was pretty surprised. I always used to think he was younger than me. Yeah. And you know, at that time he had quite a few fighters. And through that, you know, it was a progression of just keep coming, just keep training with them, and I weren't even looking to, you know, fight or anything like that. I was just, you know, just wanted just to train. Yeah. Reason to kind of learn how to box. Boxing is 100% different from street fighting. Of course. Most people think they come from outside and they think, yeah, I want to get into boxing, or I can street fight, I can bang someone, everything like that. It's a totally different way. There's a total science behind boxing. You know, boxing is a science, and you know, for people who tell you might something different, you know, they should really look at.
When did you? Anytime somebody tells me a story between the difference between street fighting and boxing, it's because they've had an experience coming into the ring as a street fighter, and they've been on the hiding of a boxer.
That's correct.
And did that happen to you then?
Oh, many a times. Many a times. And that's not even to do with even sparring. That's
if you can't hear, you must feel.
That's you know, that's not even to do with sparring. You know, that's another element. But just knowing how to punch someone properly and how to hold your body in structure. You know, so what happens then is that someone will come from the outside and they've watched boxing on Saturday night and they think, yeah, I can do this. I know this is and they think, yeah, I can do this. And what happens is they come into the ring and then maybe they do a bit of pad work or they do a bit of sparring. Yeah. And they just see a totally different world of what's going on. Right. And you know, through that, you start going into a learning process. Right. You start figuring out if this is for you or not. Right. You know, boxing is a controlled sport.
Of course it is.
It's a controlled sport where there's rules, there's regulations,
Yep.
and there's a format. You know?
Yep.
But when you're in there and you're standing up against another man who's the same weight as you,
Yep.
who's got 10-ounce gloves as you are,
Yep.
but he's been trained to punch someone
Yep.
in certain areas of the body that will be very effective.
Absolutely.
And that can wear you down and hurt you and
Yep.
quite possibly knock you out.
Absolutely.
You know, you understand that this thing is an art. You don't just go in there and start swinging your hands and hope for the best, because that hopeful could end up with you on the floor. So, you know, with Tunde Ajayi, he has a strategy. You know, he has what we call System 9, which is the format that we all work with.
We know the System 9 very well, very well.
So the app is out now for those who are interested.
We were the ones to break the actual story about the app.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You are supporting us, so we got
we
love
know
for you as
yeah,
well.
we know the app. We know the app.
So,
Systems 9. But I knew Systems 9 way back from Don Charles.
Yeah, wow.
So my connections go back to Don Charles.
Yeah, Don Charles, great guy.
There you go.
I see him about 2 weeks ago when I was doing my first aid course at his gym.
Right.
Really nice guy, you know what I mean? Very happy with his win with Derek Chisora on Saturday.
Do you know something? I did the live commentary and I said that right hand has been coming since 2012. Unfortunately, he tried it against Hay and he got knocked out.
Yeah.
But that same overhand right finally landed
I mean, you know,
against Takam.
What you have to realise is, you know, in that fight, I think everyone saw it. Takam was doing exceptionally well. You know, he was basically nearly winning every
father and son.
Yeah.
It was like a disobedient boy, son, being beat up by his father.
Well, it was definitely a fight. I can say that.
It was like Chisora throwing 2 punches. What? You throwing 2 punches at me? Let me give you 4 back.
But even that, it shows you that, you know, with a fighter at the level of Derek Chisora, he's got great experience. You know, he knows he's been in them situations before. Great, massive engine in him, and then to come out with them the first knockdown and then the actual knockout, it shows he's got massive power. You know, absolutely massive power. So, you know, great credit to him. You know, it was a fantastic. I personally think that was probably one of the best heavyweight fights I've actually seen.
Yeah.
And out of my list of heavyweight fights, Derek Chisora's been in 2 of them. The one against Takan and the one against Dylan White as well. So congratulations to him and all the best.
Do you think that Chisora, that fight would have taken a lot out of him? The fight against Dylan White would have taken a lot out of him. Do you think it's time for him to get a world title shot again? He had a world title shot when he was like 14 or 15 and 0. So,
you know, if they feel that they're ready for it and they should go, why not? You know, look, the heavyweight division, I think, is still quite open. I think there's a lot of contenders coming back into it. You know, you've got Fury that could be going against Wilder. You've got AJ that's going to be going against Povetkin. I still think that Ortiz can be involved. You've got Dylan White now that's really making a name for himself. He has been for a long time and probably is really on the verge, if not going to be looking for a world title shot in his next fight or the next 2 fights. Okay. So it's buzzing. You know, you've got other ones that are in and around the verge and everything like that.
Of course.
Boxing in general, not just in the heavyweight category, but in boxing is buzzing.
Let's talk light heavyweights. Let's talk about a certain Mr. Anthony Yarde. Let's talk about that. That's what we're really here to talk about. I mean, you must have. You're not blind. You must have heard the criticism that's been going on towards Anthony. What's your opinion of it?
To be honest, look, criticism is normal.
Right.
If you go into any industry in the world,
you're going to get criticised.
Whether you're Lewis Hamilton, whether you're David Beckham, whether you're a TV presenter, you're going to get criticism.
Absolutely.
But what they don't understand is it means you're in a position to take that criticism.
Right.
And that's where we put ourselves.
Right.
You know, Tunde Ajayi, Anthony Yarde, they put themselves in that position.
Right.
You know, it's not like it was just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Things that have happened over a course of time.
Purpose.
Yeah, over a purpose that was driven force by energy.
Yes.
And people are talking about us because we're there to be talked about. You could talk about, there's 1,000 licensed British boxers. How many of them do you know their names? It's not like an answer to anyone. If you think, well, okay, how many Arsenal players are going on? How many West Ham players are going on? How many Chelsea players? You'll be able to reel them off. Man United players, Man City players. You ask yourself, okay, name me 20 English fighters. Apart from the ones that are known, when you start getting to 15, 16, 17, as this is for the average public I'm talking about, you might say, I don't really know them. I was to bring up 7, 8, 9 different names from you, think I've never heard of them before. Anthony Yarde has only been a professional for 3 years, 2 European titles. You know, you can't knock that. If you see the way Anthony boxes and how he's performing and how he's progressing,
absolutely,
that is why people are rating him as, if not one of the best, or on the way to being probably one of the best fighters. Now, we don't take that lightly. We don't take our foot off the gas. You know what I mean? We label ourselves lying in the camp for one reason, because we've always got energy. Not only that, we're hungry. We're hungry to keep going. We're hungry to keep progressing. We're hungry to not only get to a status, but to stay at that status.
But do you understand, or do you the frustration of people is that they want to know, they keep saying lions in the camp, they want to know what sort of a lion you got. Have you got a real lion that walks around in the jungle and nobody wants to touch him? Or have you got a lion that has got no teeth? That's what people want to know.
Right.
Because obviously people want to know that. I mean, because we're excited.
Okay, but you know what? You are correct to be excited.
Yeah.
But also with that is everything is timing.
Of course, we appreciate that too.
Boxing is not a game you play.
No.
Boxing is an extremely serious sport. It's not like golf, it's not like football, it's not like darts or badminton or something like that. There's a process in there. When you step into the ring, you understand you're not stepping in there to get a point, you're stepping in to hurt your opponent.
Or get hurt yourself.
Exactly. That's not a joke. You know, when you strap on those 10-ounce gloves and then the bell goes ding ding and then you're called into the centre, you're actually going in to hurt your opponent or possibly get hurt. So that's not a joke. So with that, you want to make sure you're in the best possible position, best conditioning, and you've had the best kind of training to be able to face anyone. We believe we can face anyone. But facing anyone also takes its time. You don't just rush in and do anything anyhow just because everyone from the outside wants to see it.
Do you think that the art of matchmaking and building a career of a fighter has been ruined by promoters who are quite happy to throw a fighter under the bus? British title fight, world title fight, as opposed to building that guy for British, Commonwealth, European, world. He's a talent, throw him in a world title fight.
You know what? I think the best way to answer that question is the management team. The management team. You see, to become a boxer, you need to have a manager. Now, depending on what the connection you've got with your manager, with your promoter, with your training team, because it is all in one. Yes, big money can turn anyone's head. We think you're a talent. We're willing to offer you X amount of thousands or millions. Go and fight someone who's 4-time world champion, been boxing for 15 years. Go and do it. We think we're going to do it. If you and your team, your management team, and your setup think you're ready for that, then fair enough. If you think, listen, I'm not in a rush. I'm at the starting era of my career. You know what I mean? I've got plenty of time. I will get there. I know I'm going to get there. I don't need to rush for no one. This is a career. It's not a sprint. It really is not a sprint. It is a marathon. And with that, time, process, planning, preparation is key and vital. You know, so yes, there has been fighters in the past they've come on early, had big names, gone into a fight, maybe not fully prepared or fully ready, but they've just hoped that it will be all right on the night, and they've come unstuck, you know, and sometimes that is very, very unwell for the fighter, and he dropped off and no one ever hears about him again, and someone like that. And like I said, the management, promoter, fighter, training team have a big impact on where they want to go and how they want to get to that level, you know, because once you are there, no one cares how you got there. You're there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There'll be people who look back at it and say, you've done this, and then you've done that, you took that fight, once you're there, and that's why, you know, bringing it back to Anthony and Tunde, Tunde has an absolute focus on how he wants things to go. And because him and Anthony they're literally intertwined.
Yeah.
They speak all the time, they know what each other's thoughts are, they talk about the career, they know what way they want to get it, when they want to get it, how they want to get it, and they have a great relationship.
Can we compare them to Hay and Booth?
I would say yes and no. Yes, because in them times I used to always see Hay and Adam Booth together a lot. I know obviously they were very close and stuff like that, but the reason I would say no is that every team is their own individual task.
Right.
You know what I mean? Hay and Booth and Adam Booth, shall I say, at that time were fantastic, were great, worked well together, world titles, you know, packed out crowds, West Ham, beat Zora, and so on and so on like that. And that was great for that time. I believe that with Lions in the camp, Stamina for Self,
Lions!
Anthony, you know, and Tunde, you know, they're bringing a totally different kind of energy.
Okay.
And I think where their minds are so connected, you know, they kind of basically they work off each other's energy.
Yes.
That's the best way I can say it. They literally work off each other's energy.
Yeah.
Tunde has a system that always allows the fighter to continue to learn. Anthony is a student of boxing.
Okay.
And I don't say that lightly.
I want to ask you one more question.
Yeah, go on.
Sparring.
Yeah.
I look in charge for this one. I look the camera right in your eyes, real close, because no one's giving me any answers.
Go on.
Anthony Yarde.
Yeah.
I've heard stories about sparring.
What stories have you heard?
I'm just saying, I heard stories.
Yeah. I'm waiting for you to tell me.
I'm just my body language.
You know me, I don't even lie to the judge. I tell the truth even when I lie.
Right. Sparring sessions against quality operators. I've heard positive reports.
Go on, what else? What else have you heard? If you tell me, I will tell you. If you tell me what you've
Well, I've heard positive reports.
Okay. That's what you've heard. And what do you take from that yourself?
Well, I've never seen the man spar, so I can't say that. I can't say jack. But you've seen him spar.
I've seen Anthony spar.
And you've seen him spar quality operators.
Yeah.
Known operators.
No. Yeah.
Well known.
Well known. Yeah.
And how has he done in your opinion?
Listen, the way we look at sparring is we like to keep everything within us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
it's within us. And we're happy. And it's all good.
Okay. So everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
In terms of Yarde, the question marks, durability, resistance, heart, courage. Those things can't be taught.
If you have the right person around you, they can be taught.
Okay.
If you have the right person around you, the right team around you, they can be taught.
Right.
And yes, you could also say they're a natural element of a person as well. Anthony as a person has a stellar mind. He's extremely mentally strong. Extremely mentally strong. You'll see him probably on Instagram and all them kind of things, laughing, joking, going out to different meals, he's eating and stuff like that. When it comes to training, or he's in the ring, it's one of the elements we get lines in the camp because it's full on. It's 100% full on. Even if you see us laughing and joking in the ring, understand that
there's a serious side to that.
Yeah, that's a byproduct of how much we put on. And I mean all of us. Tunde, Anthony, myself, Bilal, the next one coming up.
Yep.
You know, there's no let up. There's no let up. Like I say, this isn't football. This isn't tennis or anything like that.
Yep.
This is boxing. It's a extremely dangerous sport. Yep. You have to be fully concentrated.
Right.
You know, when you're learning the simplest things, when you're learning things that are very difficult, you have to be fully concentrated. And this is why I say they gel so well together, because Tunde has that mentality as well, and has had that and has developed that mentality in himself. So when you get that flow of energy that works with each other, someone who wants it as much as you want it and is willing to sacrifice as much as you're willing to sacrifice, it turns into kind of a spiral kind of
snowball effect.
Yeah, and that's what's happening at the moment. We're like a tornado in boxing. Like, we're coming through and everyone is talking about Stamina for Sale, Anthony, Tunde, Jai, you know.
Lions in the camp.
Lions in the camp, you know, and that's a great thing for us. But also, we understand what the most important thing is, and is the boxing. You know, people are going to have their opinions outside, and that's fine. That's normal. It literally is normal, you know. You're going to have your people, your critics. They're going to say, oh, why does he ask questions like that? Or why does he do it like that? And that just shows that people are recognising what you're doing. And what they're doing is recognising what we're doing.